I'm just trying to figure out. I'm just trying to figure out um, what day I need to go and watch John Wick 4. I'm trying to get some
Ha.
friends to get on top of it, But they're all
Oh,
fucking lazy, bro. Someone wants to go on Monday, someone goes on Wednesday. Fuck, bro. It's like once you get married, it's just hard to get anything coordinated. In the past, if I wanted to go right now, just right now, if I want to go watch John Wick, I'll call a couple of friends, send a message, group message, and within 5 minutes, someone will be out there picking me up, and we'll be going to watch whatever the fucking next show is, wherever it is. We just go down there, get some popcorn, and we want it. Now, fucking gotta plan 2 weeks in advance, bro.
yep.
So,
Need to be
but
in the
yeah, I think,
calendar. Need to be approved.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
So, fuck, man, people got no time. I don't know. They have time for all this other bullshit, but they don't have time for you know, um, things that actually matter. Entertainment,
Don't.
it matters. Things like these,
Yeah.
these matter. These are life changing. These are like once in a lifetime
Oh,
event, bro. Do
yeah.
you remember when
Yeah.
the Matrix Reloaded came out and we went
Oh,
to
yeah.
watch that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually lined up first day of
Sunshine.
our show. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, even now I think I'm gonna head down to. Even now I think someone's screaming out there. So I was like, all right,
Wow.
my thousands of years of genetic code, that trigger just went off because someone screamed. Especially when a kid screams, you're like looking around thinking, what's going on?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Michael is not around today. So, yeah, so
Yeah.
coming back to it, I think that that whole ritual of going to the cinema to watch the movie without, and back in the day, you would literally judge the movie by its poster, actually. Trailers was not really a thing. You would watch the trailer at a previous movie that you went to watch at the cinemas, and by the time the movie actually comes on, you kind of forgotten a little bit. The hype is kind of there, not really there. So I remember I went to watch Gladiator in the cinemas,
Yeah.
and it was just random. I just walked in to watch a certain movie, and this guy was coming out of the cinemas, and he was like, "Next week, I'm gonna go watch that movie, Gladiator." And I'm like, "What's that movie?" He's like, "Oh, this. I just saw the trailer. It looks good. Next week, I'm gonna watch it." And the next week, I thought to myself, that guy told me to watch it, so I'm gonna go watch it. So I went and watched it, and I
Wow.
was blown away. I had no idea about Russell Crowe. I had no idea about the Romans. I had never heard or
Wow.
read about Romans beforehand.
Oh,
I
Hans
had
Zimmer.
no, I had no idea about Hans Zimmer. I had no idea about Ridley Scott. I had no idea about fuck all nothing. I didn't know anything, and I had not seen the trailer.
Yeah.
And when I watched it, when I walked in, the first few seconds of the movie were were gone. So I had missed the trailers and the ads. So when I walked in, it's basically it was just basically showing Russell Crowe. He's standing there, and there's this Hans Zimmer score in the back, and there's a bit of smoke coming out, and it's kind of a medium shot, so you can only kind of see Hans Zimmer, but I mean Russell Crowe, but you can't see anything else. And Russell Crowe, right? He is basically looking around and making an observation, and he sees a small sparrow. It comes and sits on a tree, like a tree fig, like a small branch of the tree, and he's looking at it, and then the bird flies and goes somewhere else. So those subtle moves are there, where basically the general is looking at all that, and then the bird flies away, and then he looks at the earth and he picks up the sand and he rubs his hand, I mean his
And
hands into the sand,
then
and then
he's
the
going
dog
into
comes.
water.
And then the dog comes.
What we do in life echoes in
Yeah,
eternity.
So and then the dog comes, and then he gets on his, and then he starts walking, and then suddenly the shot kind of like zooms out, I would say, or pans out, and then you can see this huge fucking army. There's all these fucking people. The generals are there, and he gets on his horse, and wherever the horse is going, the dog is going behind him. And then he tells his general that on my signal, unleash hell or whatever the fuck he says that. I'm always like, who the fuck is this guy? Like it's like the idea about the Gladiator was that it starts from the guy himself, and the way it's directed, it's like it pulls you into that battle sequence. Like the movie starts on a very high note. It starts with the whole. I keep getting these. spam calls, bro, from random numbers trying to
Yeah.
sell me shit.
Sir, what do you want, man?
Yeah, no, no, they're scams, bro. These are scam calls. They call you and they tell you they'll pay your bill. Your bank account has been hacked.
Oh
They
yeah,
will
you
find
told me
out.
about it last
And
time.
again, yeah, like Zoom, or they'll call you saying that Amazon owes you money. We need to you ordered something and we fucked up and we want to return your money, stuff like that. So and yeah, so when I watched Gladiator the first time, I think the whole swords thing, the gladiator arena, the Colosseum. I never saw the Colosseum. I didn't know it was a real thing. So I think those days are gone, where you actually walk into a movie theater and the experience is so visceral. It is so like you have no clue about that world that they built for you, and then they show you that world, and the way they do it is done in such a good way, in sense that it is actually not only entertaining you, but you are learning about it at that
Mm.
time. So the whole idea about the ranks, the whole idea about the generals, Caesar is there,
Mm.
and you don't even know what the fuck is Caesar. I thought Caesar was the guy's name. I didn't know it was the title. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Joaquin Phoenix is in it.
Wasn't it Marcus Aurelius, the
Yeah,
father?
Marcus Aurelius. Yeah. And then Joaquin Phoenix is in it. And bro, he was brilliant in that movie. I mean, Joaquin
Oh,
Phoenix there, and that whole subtle thing between he and his sister, that the incest relationship that is there, and the kid is basically their son. That whole thing is done in such a subtle way that if you're mature enough, you'll get it. If you're like a teenager like me, when I went to watch it, I would think I was 16 or 17. Basically, I was not supposed to be in that movie. It was an R-rated movie when I
yeah.
walked out to watch that movie. Dude, I watched Saving Private Ryan when I was 16 or something. And again, I had no idea about World War II. I had no
Oh.
idea about the Nazis. I had no idea about the camps. I had no idea about anything, bro. So I watched a lot of movies in my youth which I had no fuck all idea about. And Matrix was also one of them. But Matrix was one of the movies that I went to watch because of the trailer. What is the Matrix? The trailer was what is the Matrix? It was such a great campaign, man.
I
They
didn't.
showed you all
I,
the action sequences, and everybody was talking about what is the Matrix? What is the Matrix? What is the Matrix? And then you go and you find out what is the Matrix. I
uh,
think those days are over. Yeah.
yeah. Uh,
Those kind of movies, I guess, that where they basically bring you in. I mean, that is what you call marketing. Even nowadays, the marketing that they do in movies is not that great.
uh,
It is not even
we
great marketing. If you look at even the John
people
Wick movies you went to watch, it's doing well
people
because of
say
John Wick, not marketing.
people say that they don't want to watch movie trailers anymore. It's like watching a movie. It's
Yeah,
like
because they try
they
to
give
give
out
away.
everything,
They give out
everything.
everything.
It's like
What are you
why?
gonna do? Because yeah, but the question now remains that why do you think they give out everything?
No. People are dumb. They want people to come, so they're like, let's give as much information as possible. I don't know. I personally think it's stupid. I think trailers. The last creative trailer I saw was a Serious Man. That movie was funny as well. So I mean, it was a different movie
Well,
altogether. So I don't know.
well, I think even the Nolan movies, their trailers, I don't think they're as good how they used to be. Inception was like I think the high point of his trailers, and then after that, if you look at the new trailers that come out like Tenet and Inception, Tenet
Tennis
kind of
was
tried
good.
to the Tenet trailer actually it tried to sell the stars. It tried to do the whole thing about trying to show okay Robert Pattinson is in it and all these big stars in it. You should go and watch it. So I think he lets the marketing people do their thing. The thing with his movies is because Inception, if you think about that brassy background music that was there in the trailer, that kind of got used in every
Everywhere.
trailer after that, yeah. That was not done by, it was not Hans Zimmer or, Nolan's idea. It was basically, they gave it to an agency. And there's a guy, I saw his interview on YouTube. He basically edited the trailer in his own home studio. And he added that brassy thing at the back. And that kind of, created that style of filmmaking. I mean, the trailers. So if you think about it, I saw the Prestige trailer and I think he does cut the trailer himself, but I think after Dark Knight or whatever, he didn't cut any of the trailers himself. So I think And the Dunkirk movie, I think the trailer for that one was cut by I think Nolan, but certain ones like Tenet and this new Oppenheimer, he cuts the teaser. He does not cut the main trailer. That is what like I think my understanding is because if you think about the new Oppenheimer teaser that came out, it is definitely a Nolan cut. But Dunkirk was also the same. But once they start revealing the names and start packaging the main trailer together and everything, and then I think it's all marketing.
Uh,
Either way, there's no point watching them, bro. It's bullshit. We're living in Netflix and the age of streaming now, so I think there's no point watching trailers.
boring.
Yeah, but bro, I started watching Beef.
Boring.
Have you heard about Beef on A24, the A24 series that is on Netflix? Bro,
No.
I watched the first episode. First, not even the first episode. I watched the first 10 minutes, and I said to myself, okay, you know what? I just casually was checking what's on there, and I just went in there, and it said A24 production. I was like, okay, sounds something, must be good. So I tried it out, and I looked at it for the first 5 minutes, 8 minutes, and I said to myself, you know what? This is something I need to binge. I'm gonna stop right here, do my other shit, and then when I have the brain space, the headspace, I'll come back and I'll watch it. But the first 5 minutes, right? Let me describe it to you. There's no dialogue. Steven Yeun, he got famous as actor from The Walking Dead, Asian actor, very good actor. He's in The Walking Dead, and after that, he did a couple of movies here and there. He did, I think, recently that movie Minali. Minali, I think it went for the Oscars and stuff. Where there's a Korean family, they move out to the regional suburbs to get a farm. A Korean family buys a farm and wants to settle on a farm. Minari, I think that's the name of the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that movie also was made by A24. So in this one, Ali Wong is there, the stand-up comedian,
Mm-hmm.
and Stephen Yeun is there. This guy, he's trying to return something at a hardware store, and he gets bad customer service for it. So he's kind of a bit enraged. He says, "Fuck it." He sits in his pickup truck, puts his shit. He's got all these barbecues that he's trying to return. And he says, you know what, fuck it. I don't want to deal with all this. So he puts it back into the truck, gets in the truck. He's pissed off, switches on the fucking car. And he's about to reverse out, and suddenly a Mercedes cuts him off from the back. And the Mercedes stops right behind the white SUV. G series Mercedes stops at the back and gives him a long honk. Dang, And then he's like, what the fuck? He looks out of the window. And he's like, fuck, and he's even more enraged. And this girl, then she goes a little bit forward and then puts out a fucking middle finger and gives her another honk, okay? And this guy's like, you know what, fuck you. And he reverses out and he starts chasing her. And they're going down the traffic and they're flying complete road rage, like exactly how I am when someone honks at me, right? So I'm just like into it straight away as soon as I saw. And that whole first 5 minutes is all about he chasing her down and he's trying to get a look at her like who the fuck is this person, but he cannot because she's always ahead. And then eventually the whole thing ensues, a lot of property damage, a lot of damage to the side strip, nature strip, and all that stuff happens. um, a few driving on the oncoming traffic, those kind of sequences happen, and then she reaches home and she's completely lost it. Like she's it's like that person who gets a road rage and their blood pressure is up there. They're now slowly coming down, right? So she comes
Mm-hmm.
back in, she parks the car. He gets home, he parks the car. So only watched it till then. Before the story actually begins and they start talking, or whatever, I only watched. So it was the first 7 minutes of no talking, just hardcore road rage, beautiful editing, very well put together. So it's basically these two people. It's a dark comedy, 10 episodes, mini series, no more seasons. So just one season. It's about these two people who just having a bad day and they clash, And the whole 10 episodes is about that, and it's a dark comedy built around that. So people said that it's pretty good, but you can't trust the internet because the internet right now is saying John Wick 4 is shit. And you're telling
Really?
me yeah, bro. A lot of people saying that it's a lot of fatigue, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
action. You're watching from beginning till the end. There's nothing like it's good stunts and everything, but nothing exciting. And
Really?
obviously you can't expect much story from it. What did you take on it overall? We'll do a spoiler one after I watched it, but I know what the ending is. I read up on it. So I'll go watch the movie anyway.
just let me put it this way. It's to make another action film of this caliber is gonna be a daunting task. That's all I'm gonna say.
So
Like,
even the people themselves, if they had to up it, it'll be hard.
yeah. And so what's funny is I posted this on my story. Like Dan lost and this DP, uh, who did Nightmare Alley, Shape of Water, uh, and like some Brotherhood of the Wolves or something. He's like a Danish DP. I have common friends with him, anyways, who work with him. So I just posted like, Dan Lawson is the king of action cinematography. Like the whole
He
movie.
did the first three movies as well, right? The whole
No,
series is
he
done.
the first was done by someone
Someone
else.
else.
So second, third, fourth. So three movies he did it. But the fourth one, because I watched the third, I never watched the third one. So I watched the third one, and because I wanted to go and see the fourth. Um, Man, the cinematography is amazing. Like the sets are amazing. The
Yeah.
whole notion of doing real action is like
Choreographed action.
2 hours 50 minutes of non-stop edge of the seat, knowing that Vic's gonna win until the end, right? So knowing that, let's see what happens this time, and this amazing dynamic between different killers and their loyalties and how everything's changing constantly till the end is amazing. Uh, yeah, to me, I think the best cinematography of the year, like it's just the start of the year, but I think it will be something. Uh, Someone has to make something so cool to for me to say, oh, okay, okay, this one's good because it's pretty simple, but the fluidity, it's like when I saw The Dark Knight and the first sequence in The Dark Knight where Cillian Murphy, what's his name, the fucking face, what's the guy with the bag on the face, Scarecrow,
Scarecrow.
Scarecrow, Scarecrow is doing a deal, and then what's the guy? Batman comes in, and then they're running, and then Batman jumps from the from the top of the uh, parking building, and then exactly at the right time he drops himself on top
In
of
the
the
middle
van.
of all. Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
So
Yeah,
that
that's
that that, that thing was like, okay, this is not a comic book movie for me. It was like, this is cinema. The whole cinematography, the whole timing and everything, the action, everything. Like there's a silence, how it suddenly becomes silence when he jumps. And shoo, choo, like the
mm,
whole thing was amazing. Anyways, I would say that John Wick 4, to beat John Wick 4, I don't think the team should do it. Like the shtick is over. The shtick of John Wick 4, they know it's over.
yeah. Yeah. They can't keep
So
dragging it to seven movies or eight movies.
yeah, they shouldn't. So what I did was I posted this like, oh, Dan Larson is the king of action cinematography. Fuck the Oscars and the snobs. Damn, this is fire. And then I mentioned Chad Stahelski, the guy who directed it, Chad Stahelski and team. Don't fucking do a prequel. Don't do a sequel. You know,
Yeah.
it was an amazing send off. Don't fucking do it. So funny enough, I tagged him, and then he liked my story, and he said okay on Instagram. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel that after watching the movie, I was like, I don't think anybody can fucking like
I think
doing
because you're
action.
from the industry,
Yeah,
that's why you got the okay, because that person is probably trying to reply, obviously, from a comment, from
I
trying
don't think
to,
so.
maybe
Nobody,
because you're from the
nobody,
industry, he's trying to comment back.
because I'm from the industry and I care about who's the director. John Wick, nobody like he's not like Steven Spielberg, right? Chad Stahelski. It's like nobody
Well,
knows
he
who's
is
the
kind of,
director.
I mean, he's kind of now in the big leagues, obviously. I mean,
No, he is, but general public don't know him. Like he's
yeah, but I
not.
think because he has a technician background or a stunt corner background. This movie is a showcase of what technicians can do, not
Dude,
what visual effects and
and
what
not just
marketing
that,
does.
but the
It's a very
John
technical
Wick.
filmmaking. Yeah.
Apart from that, apart from that, the themes it has is
Hmm.
about like think about it. And I was gonna have a chat about this. Everything in that film is based on self-government. So your action has consequences.
Correct. Yeah.
You anything it's based on karma. So it's like this amazing mythicism of like Eastern, European, and like the new age cyberpunk culture, where we live in a simulation kind of a deal, kind of so it's to me, I loved it. I was like, they should make another fun. This is it. I want to see Lethal Weapon 4 with
They could do
Mel.
spin-offs, you mean?
I have a feeling because he just posted today on his Instagram. The director's like, what was your who was your favorite character from JW4? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
He's
They
gonna
are
do a
doing a
spin-off.
well. The CEO of Lionsgate, he announced that they wanted a sequel. They wanted five movies, but what they decided to do is decided not to do a fifth movie. Just do the fourth one
Yeah,
and do a
because
spin-off.
the shtick is got like
Spin-off is
the
Ballerina.
act. So see, my
Who's
thing is,
Ballerina? I'm not sure. Ballerina is going to be the
so
next movie, and
so
that it's
we saw the
between
Matrix.
John Wick 3 and 4.
So we saw the Matrix. Matrix had amazing action sequences. Then Equilibrium came out. That was pretty close quarter shooting.
Gunfu. Yeah,
It was amazing. Um, Other than that, I don't like in Western cinema. I don't see any amazing action films like that. Was like kind of out of. It was different, so different that no one has seen something like this. Having said that, I mean, if anybody follows anime, you know, for them,
yeah,
John Wick is a joke, right? Like, come on,
yeah.
let's be real. I don't watch anime. I'm not into fucking watching Japanese
Mhm.
cartoons, right? Like,
But a lot
or
of the
subtitles.
John Wick, a lot of the sequences in John Wick are very anime style. It's not a bad thing,
Yeah,
but yeah,
but for me, I feel, and people snobs and like, oh, hey, it's a fucking action film. Like, it's a, it's like
mm.
if Bollywood knew what the fuck to do, they would make something like this.
Yeah. If you think about it, a good example is roller coasters. They are a form of a its value is delivering to you emotion. When you sit in it, the roller
Mm.
coaster, although it's a very simple thing, you just sit into a thing, it's a bucket, and that bucket goes on a track up and down. But controlling where at what point on the track you're going to feel how and how the whole thing is designed with safety, with speed, with all those things in mind, it is not a simple
What
thing. Like,
what
it's a
what
roller
made
coaster,
me?
basically.
It's a very capitalistic film.
Yeah.
Okay, it's very capitalistic. It's a very what do you say anti woke.
For
There's
property
nothing woke
rights.
about.
Yeah, property
There's no woke
rights.
shit. There's no woke shit.
Yeah,
There's nothing about gay rights or
yeah,
transgender
yeah,
rights,
yeah,
racism. Uh, I mean,
absolutely.
if I want to pick it, I'll pick some shit. Like, if I want to be that guy, I'll be like, why weren't there any brown dudes? But they were,
Yeah,
the Moroccans. But like, apart from that, nobody cares. Like I went into the film, I didn't care. I was like, okay, it's a Hollywood film.
That
Is
that
it
is
done
that guy
right?
still there? He died, right? The hotel concierge, the African black
Oh
guy,
yeah,
the guy who plays the African black actor.
yeah, yeah.
He's a very good actor, man. Oof. I saw him in The Wire, and he used to play police chief. Why the chief is always black, you know? And he was the black chief in The Wire,
Yeah, because it's
and he
easier
was
to
brilliant.
control them, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's
They
it, bro.
will
That's it. Yeah.
they will put the people they want to catch, the race of the same person, and then if that person becomes an asshole, they can't play the race card
The
because
race
most
card.
people do. It's like, oh, there's a white guy. No, there's a black guy doing it now. So since people are status will not argue.
But now in hindsight, I think the reason they put black people as chief is because you see, most of the Hollywood back then, even now, is very leftist, and the reality was that most police hierarchy was white, but in the movies they would try to create that
Oh,
equality
it's like
or
it's
religious
like Indian
equality.
movies, dude. In
Yeah,
Indian movies in the 80s, every police guy who's like kind of supporting to the hero is a Muslim guy.
he's a Muslim guy. That's what I'm saying, and it's played by the same actor who's actually a Muslim as well. That same guy who's in every movie. It's something like that because I think that's what was really going on. Because
Yeah.
if the police had a mixed hierarchy of people in it, yes, there are some states like Baltimore and other places in America where they did have black leadership, but in most places where there's not enough representation in that top hierarchy, those organizations were racist. But in the movies, they would show obviously the idealistic society or whatever, right?
Yeah,
But
that's
coming
how
to
it
John
is.
Wick, I guess. So you haven't seen Parabellum, which is I think the third
I
movie.
no, I saw the Parabellum. I started looking for like an HD version, like a 4K version. I couldn't find it. I wanted to rent one. Uh, I couldn't
I think
rent
Amazon
one.
Prime has it. Oh, they have
No.
Parabellum on Netflix now. But I have Netflix in Australia. It's available there, but maybe not in Canada.
No, wait, so I did the VPN shit.
Yeah. Okay.
I went to Australia, but the
Yeah.
problem
Yeah.
is VPN was so slow that it didn't make
Oh
sense.
man, yeah, yeah.
And I wasn't
I'm just
getting the
waiting for the
4K.
John Wick Blu-rays to come out, like a box set, and I'll just buy it and then I'll watch it
Dude,
on my
the
Netflix.
cinematography is insane. The
The
sets are
sound was
insane.
yeah, sound is
It's
amazing.
it's 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 a constant like it's like have you seen the Old Boy?
Yeah, yeah, bro. I know what you mean. That was
Okay,
exactly
so
that kind of yeah, yeah. I know.
so Old Boy there's the sequence where he's in a alleyway and then there's a bunch of guys and he's
Yeah, they're
alone
coming from the
and
side
then
and
and
yeah,
then we see like a video game we see this the whole
yeah.
action scene in a wide shot and
Tracking,
like you
yeah,
which was amazing for that time and like
mm,
why the fuck when nobody
yeah,
so so they have sequences like these
mm, mm,
in the film that I don't want to spoil it but it's like there are
mm,
some amazing sets of
mm,
action sequences you go
mm,
am I
mm,
watching a game is
mm,
this a
mm,
game is this all CGI because it
mm,
isn't it's all
mm,
real the cinematography is so top notch the lighting the noir lighting so you like as a DP I'm like just to set up all these lighting
mm, mm,
you
mm.
you gotta be so smart like when you're doing like okay Bob Richardson you're doing something for Tom Quentin Tarantino there's not action happening all the time and but these are like big sets with huge lights it's crazy it's one of like in my opinion this year's best cinematography people don't respect I don't care about cinematography or what kind of film it comes in. If it's done right, it's amazing. Think about this. Matrix 1, the cinematography was done by John Toll. Okay? John Toll has a cinema language. That is, if you watch any of his films, there's a certain level of cinematic language that you won't find in other DPs. John Toll can do that. He can look at a set and go, hey, hey, what if we shoot it this way? So what I mean is like having less cuts, blocking it in a way, lighting is unintrusive, and like you can see the action a lot. So you're like completely immersed in the film.
Mm.
I don't like it when it's like with cuts and stuff. That's what we do when we don't have money.
Like
But
transporter
when
movies were like that. There was too
yeah,
much cutting. Like the Bone movies, man. So much cutting, man. It's like 13 different cuts in the same sequence. Yeah.
so my thing is if you have that much money, and what's funnier is when you watch the movie and then you go, let's see how much they spend how much money they spend.
Yeah, 100
The,
mil, bro. So nothing. Yeah.
no, they
On
spend
this movie.
70 mil.
Oh, yeah. I'm forgetting. Yeah, I mean, marketing is where the most of the budget
Right,
nowadays goes.
right. So they spend 70 mil on the film, and it looks bigger than a 70 mil film.
Of
Than any,
course.
then you see 150 mil, and oh, they wasted a lot of money. So, in my
Mm.
opinion, the team, they were so
Is it shot
cool.
in the States or Canada?
I don't think it, I think it states.
I think it's shot in America. Yeah.
Uh, But yeah, it was, in my opinion, I would say, guys, go watch it because wow, wow, like you gotta watch it. And once you're done with it, it's like, okay, fuck, I don't want to watch it again. Oh no, I don't want to see another sequel of this. Like I'm done. The shtick is over. It's it was amazing till it lasted, you know, but the shtick is over.
So you
Let's
think it
move on.
deserved the four movies, or do you think the three are
Yeah,
were
I
enough?
think they can go. Honestly, they could have gone more where the story was going. Because
Mm.
I don't want to go much in detail. So there's this concept of the
Mm.
table. So everything's based on the table. I don't know
Yeah,
what the fuck is the table. Table is like the
yeah.
deep state.
They can keep expanding more characters. They can keep adding. And, yeah, the table can keep
There's a
expanding.
deep state that nobody knows what's the deep state. There are families, and you got to be part. So they're playing out this age-old ritual of blood wars, and then they
Mm.
figure out a way like, hey, let's not be in war all the time, and you can kill each other, but put money into it. There's an
Mm.
amazing character called Mr. Nobody in it.
Mm.
That and his motives were amazing. And so I was with my friend Ali Reza, and I was like,
Yeah, a lot of people are talking, I think, about this Mr. Nobody. They want to do a spin-off out of him as well.
yeah.
But Ballerina is coming. I'm not sure who's in it, but they're
So
doing a
back,
spin-off already. Yeah.
yeah. So I believe. I mean, I'm not interested in spin-offs. Like, come on, guys, get
They're
over
doing
with
a
it.
TV show, bro, on the table. They're doing a TV show on the table. And on that one, they're
I'm
gonna
not
have all
gonna
the
watch it.
younger they're gonna have
I'm
all the
not gonna.
younger versions of these characters. All the characters you saw, they're
You're
younger
wasting.
versions.
So, as a human, as a person who's living life, I don't want to waste my time. I want to see something new. So, this idea that when you do, like, even with Better Call Saul, I watched the first season, I got bored. I was like, I'm not, like, okay, I love Breaking Bad, but they're just wasting my time. Like, I don't want to
The
waste my
same
time.
formula you're saying, but apparently it ended very well, bro. It was a
I
brilliant show.
heard,
It got
I,
better
I
over
heard,
time. Yeah.
I heard. But the point is, I want to see something new.
If you want to watch something new, then there's obviously the Kevin Costner show Yellowstone, which is basically
Yeah,
about property rights, right?
yeah.
But I'm waiting for it to end because what they did is they created Yellowstone, and from that they created all this different
Tulsa King,
spin-offs. And yeah, spin-offs are there. There's 1884, and then there's 1983 something,
1923.
which is Harrison Ford, and then they have the alternate story about there's in the same state there is a prison system and there's a mayor of that is struggling. So I think
Yeah, but see,
yeah.
the my pro
So
my I might watch Tulsa King
Tulsa King, bro. I mean, I'm telling you,
because
bro.
it's
Stallone
gangster,
is gangster in it, man.
right?
And he,
So I
you
will
you
watch.
saw that clip where he talks about like why people go to uni. He said for booze, getting laid, and what is it? To take orders, basically. Like the
Yeah.
university is absolutely crap. Like the reason.
So I might watch Tulsa King, but I'll definitely because I like the idea of Yellowstone and property rights. Um,
And Tulsa King is also a bit about the business side of rights. How basically it highlights how the government is basically the new mafia. The government is too
oh,
big, and in a way, Yellowstone also talks about how the government, including other people who want favors from the government, want to take your property away from you. What do you own? What is rightfully yours? They want to come and take it. That
right.
thing in itself is very powerful. And Kevin Costner, bro, he is. It's like he is the old G. He's the only last remaining actors who is actually good at playing the original cowboy, the traditional Marlboro man. The manly, mature, rancher. Wants to do his thing. It actually goes behind that same idea that you actually talked about. It's about a guy who just wants to be left alone, wants to do his thing. And then people come
Everybody.
in and they try to take his shit away. And then he's like, has no choice but to,
It's John
back
Wick
off.
is the same, dude. John Wick is the
Yeah.
same. He's a guy. He wanted to be left alone. His
Yeah.
wife died. Some fucker liked his Mustang. Came,
Took the,
stole the
yeah.
Mustang, killed the dog, and that created a pile of bodies and four
Mm.
films. And then eventually the film ends. But the point is like, the, some people just want to see the world burn if we don't leave them alone. So it's a very North American film. I would say that uh, it doesn't have it has that classic fuck you attitude.
Yeah.
Like
But I
everybody,
think it also has the journey of the hero thing going on as well. It's got the journey of the hero
yeah, but
situation.
the main thing is like everybody talks about the rules. There are rules. You know, so even
Mm.
them,
You
even
can't
in
do
that,
that. You're not supposed to do
even
that.
even in
Yeah.
an anarchy situation where there is no government and everybody is their own king, and then there's Lawrence Fishburne who consider himself the king of the fucking streets, because he's that homeless guy who runs the streets, and then Winston, he's the manager of the Continental, so he's
Mm.
like the high end guy, and then there's the low
Mm.
or the street guy. So I think there are a lot of parallels that the team. Okay. Let's put it this way: it's an absurdist commercial action film. It
Mm.
has so much semblance to our reality, but they did it in an absurdist way, in which it's a different world. There are no cops. I don't know. The fights are happening when everything's good. Well,
There's
the
no
cops are
cops.
like so.
Mm.
Uh, and if the cops do come, right? They know what the fuck's going on, but they don't care. The cops are like, oh, comes to John Wick, and I think in part two is like when his house gets destroyed. So the cops come to him, is like, are you working, John? And he's like, no, I'm not, and he just walks away.
That's
Like
the only time
just
when the cop is there, I think, in the
yeah,
entire series.
yeah, yeah, and but also like what's his name? Keanu Reeves acting is so campy.
Yeah,
The
it
whole
suits the character. Yeah.
It's like there's a scene where he's hitting a wall or something, rope on a piece of wood, and that's how the movie starts. Like just close up of him hitting, and the king comes from the back and he's like, "Are you ready?" And then he says some, like eloquent shit. Lawrence
Yeah.
Fishburne. He says some eloquent shit in his homeless attire, and he turns around, and we know he's gonna say one thing. He's like, "Yeah." And the way he says it is so campy. I'm telling you, there's a
Yeah.
level of there's a level of cult that's gonna be attached to this film
Mm.
that you know people don't get it. People like campy shit. People
Yeah.
like campy. So
Mm.
this is like it's dude, it's a concentration of amazing action. One of the best action people the world's got to offer right now in one film done by one of the best cinematographers out there, done by one of the best stunt directors out there, and the level of like, oh my God, like the Mexican standoff in it is amazing. The
Mm,
dynamics of that like I would say the Mexican standoff in this was like if this is where Quentin Tarantino's Mexican standoffs are, I think it was here,
mm,
maybe even
mm,
touching it, maybe even if it's an action film, like I was watching a live action cartoon. I felt like a live action comic book movie.
mm, mm, mm.
It was that, like just each angle, the camera movements, everything amazing. Characters, wow. Um,
Scott Adkins
I,
be, so Scott
I don't
Adkins
know
also is in it.
who's Scott Adkins.
The guy with the fat suit. He's one of the world's most renowned action stars and action stuntmen as well.
Oh,
Scott
the guy
Adkins,
with
yeah.
the guy with the big
Yeah,
teeth.
yeah.
Oh
Big
yeah,
guy.
that
Big guy
that.
purple. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Them.
He's a very fit superstar, man. He's a very good action actor.
Oh, so I like that
He's a
character.
stunt. He's done movies where he's the lead. Straight to DVD, you might say, but straight to Netflix, straight to
Wow,
Amazon, a
I
lot of
didn't
movies.
know. I
Yeah,
just when I saw
that
that.
guy needs his own movie. He has done a lot of movies, but he is a stunt superstar. He's like the next.
So,
He's like a
so
John Claude Van
actually,
Damme.
you know what's funny? I replied to Chad. I'm like when he said who was your favorite character, I actually mentioned the Berlin boss because he's in
Yeah,
Berlin. I was like that guy was pretty cool because his acting was amazing. His character was
yeah,
hilarious,
very
like
good. Yeah.
hilarious character.
And for a
And
stunt man to play that role is actually fun because apart from just fighting, they've given something more to do with themselves.
I hey, listen, the world's going to shit. Might as well enjoy an action film.
Yeah, but the question is, I guess, why do you think that other countries aren't doing it? India doesn't have it.
What?
The biggest industries of the world, like even
Uh,
France, used to do great action back in the day. They had great action movies. They used to do very good heist and action movies. Hong Kong as well. This is the kind of shit Hong Kong should have been doing.
that's
Because
I think
up
most.
until up until the 90s, they were the one who were doing all that stuff. If you think about it, they were the ones who were making all the
So
John Wick style
wait,
movies.
hold on. Most people in this film are
Yeah,
from Hong Kong.
are from Hong Kong. Yeah,
They
yeah,
are like there's a scene in part three where the Hong Kong stunt guys are like
yeah,
breaking the wall and it's like joking with John Wick while they're
yeah,
trying to kill him,
yeah.
while not killing him, you know, and
Mm,
it's like,
mm,
hey, it's great seeing you, Wick, Mr. Wick,
mm,
and
mm.
then trying to fight with them. It's like it's
Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah,
It's like it's an in joke, right? It's like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's just a stunt based film. You go in, you come out, you had an experience. You're not listening to any fucking political bullshit. It's just one man out for revenge and the politics behind it in this
Mm,
particular world. It's fun.
mm.
I loved
I
it.
guess
It was
I'll watch it on Wednesday, and I think I'm gonna go next Wednesday because I'm just trying to put a team together to go and watch this, make a
Huh.
ritual out of it. Trying to put a bunch of my old uh, all my friends who have the dad boards, so a bunch of
Huh.
guys with dad boards are gonna walk in and watch this movie on Wednesday. And I think by then the fervor and the whole craziness about people lining up, and I hate watching movies on premieres nowadays. Like
Uh,
on the first weekend, I try to avoid because there's too many people. So I would like to. I enjoy actually watching movies
uh,
when the more than half the cinema is empty. I'm that kind of a guy now. I don't want to be part of that cathartic experience, where everybody's crying together, they're laughing together, you know,
yeah.
and they're screaming together. So I think, yeah, we'll do a spoiler cast on that one, and maybe we'll talk about the entire John Wick series because I've actually started watching John Wick after you told me. I started watching I think I watched the first one, and then you told me that you're also watching it. So I'm going to watch the second and third, and then go and. You think watch all of them and then go watch the fourth one? It'll be too fatiguing, or maybe watch the fourth one and then come
I
back
say
and
I
watch the others.
I say watch all of them, then go watch the fourth one.
Yeah, so I'll watch all of them and go
But
because I think I
fatigue.
didn't like the third one. I didn't watch the third one properly. I kind of did not take it seriously. I thought to myself it was too much because I didn't see the magic of it. I didn't really appreciate the technical aspect of it. I was just like, man, the same thing again and again. But if you think it from a technical point of view, it
It's
is a
not. It's
masterpiece because
to
yeah.
to me. It's not even okay. This is how I see it. When you go to a burger joint, okay, don't go ask for a vegan fucking food.
Hmm.
You just
You
stack
shouldn't
them
be
up.
eating vegan anyway. Shouldn't be eating
I
vegan.
okay. Apart from that point,
Yeah.
no. Apart from that point, but if you're going to a, let's say, a fat
I
burger,
see. I
yeah.
get. Yeah, yeah. It's
If
like
you go,
rocking up to a kebab house, and it's like or rocking up to a falafel joint and expecting a chicken shawarma. Come on, it doesn't work like that. Yeah.
so
You're here for a
it
falafel.
is
So,
it is this falafel sandwich amazing? It's the best fucking falafel sandwich ever. That's all I'm gonna say. If you don't like falafel sandwich, great.
all right.
But a lot of people like falafel sandwich, and that's why it's actually making a lot of money. And this summer, it's gonna make a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, I don't know where it started or where it began, but for the last month, I've spent a lot of time just looking at random clips on YouTube because I watched one clip and you know how YouTubers it starts recommending you all this shit. So I just thought I think I started watching. I watched one clip on a classic Japanese samurai movie. There's a clip from it. I watched one and that was it, bro. All these clips started coming my way, right? So all these classic movies from the '60s, the '70s. Basically when color came into the Japanese film industry. They made a bunch of samurai movies, Zatoichi, and all that stuff. I mean, the Donnie Yen character is basically out of this Japanese series of movies and books, Zatoichi, which is basically about a blind swordsman,
Yeah,
right?
I saw that one, the one you shared.
Yeah, and the
Pretty cool.
blind swordsman character, he is someone
Oh,
who,
you love John Wick then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean,
You love John Wick for.
so
Let me
a
just
lot
put
of the
it
John
that way.
Wick stuff, yeah, a lot of that character in John Wick, the Donnie Yen character, is basically as a homage to Zatoichi, right? And there's all these amazing clips, bro. Like I was watching this one. There's a series of comic books or manga, or whatever you want to call it, that they turn into movies back in the day, in the '80s and the '70s. Okay, they made 8 or 9 movies out of it. It was a cult hit. Okay, and it's known as the Lone Wolf and the Cub. It's basically about the samurai who serves a master, a shogun or whatever, an emperor, and emperor gets attacked. They kill the entire family. The baby of the shogun, the samurai takes the baby and runs away to save him, and the entire empire basically comes for him, trying to look. It's like basically a John Wick with the baby, all right? And all these guys are descending down on him. There's these different clans, ninjas, group of people who know that there is a guy, he's a samurai, he's on the run with the baby, and we need to kill that baby because he's going to be the future king of Japan. All right? And he's got a baby cart, and he's got the baby inside the cart, and he's got a fucking a blade, and all these people come for him to kill him. And dude, like the sequences that the thing is, I think when you compare John Wick movies or any of those kind of movies that have been made in Japan, there was a tradition of making those kind of movies, where the people who rock up to the the to the cinema, they know exactly what they're getting, and the whole idea is that everybody knows that the baby is going to survive. Maybe the person who's protecting the baby might not survive, but let's see how long does that last. And it lasts for 8 movies. And there's this one. I've not seen all the movies. I've only seen 1 or 2 movies out of that entire thing. There's this one sequence where the bad guy comes and it's a waterfall. It's a small waterfall. Like the ones that are about this high and all the water is falling. It's a very pristine small river, and the river The river is basically has a small waterfall that is just about 5 6 feet deep, and they're standing on the edge of the waterfall, and he's got the car, the baby's inside, and the villain comes from there, and he takes out his sword, and he gets ready for him. And what he does, the hero, he jumps down from the small waterfall into the pond, and he puts his sword underneath the water, and he gets into a position, and he hides the sword in the water. And then the villain comes to fucking take him, and then he brings the sword out of the water. Like, dude, that sequence is so amazingly done. Basically, he knew that he cannot beat him because that guy is a better swordsman than him. But what he can do is hide the sword, surprise him, hide the sword in the water so he would not know, okay, where the blade is going to come out of. It's just brilliant, bro. Just brilliant. Just that one sequence. And there's so many clips of that kind from different movies of that era, 60s and 70s, that you can just keep on watching, bro. Like I think I
Yeah, I
sent you
mean,
it one. Yeah.
so
And you can
here's
see
the
where
thing.
Quentin Tarantino and all these guys, where they're getting their inspiration from.
So, if you want to watch an art house movie, go fucking watch Triangle of Sadness, you know,
Mm.
or some fucking
Menu.
crying
Uh, Menu is also pretty
social
good.
justice fucking
Yes.
bullshit.
Yeah.
Or
If you want to
you
be
can go
entertained.
spend some time and be
Yeah.
fucking entertained and fuck you. Like I was, honestly, I'm a guy who actually love art films. Like I love art films, as you know. But to me, what is more interesting is when art films turn into commercial successes. That's when it's fun. That's when you go, okay, people like it too. Not bunch of snobs who think they know a lot of shit about art, but normal people, they like it too. That was interesting. So, for example, sometimes commercial films become cult classics is because the people see the art in it. It's so easy for anybody to say, hey, it was a shitty film. Oh, look at that. That's fucked up. They're just projecting their fucking problem shit. You know, uh, to me, I'm like, you know, uh, there's a lot of crap that people like, which I'm like, I don't know why people like this.
People watch Beavis
Oh,
and Butthead and they call it art, which in a way it is kind of a good commentary
I mean,
on
I don't
things.
mind that. I'm honestly, it's okay,
Yeah.
but you cannot, you should understand the end product of a film is when you come out of it, you go, wow,
Yeah.
that's it. It doesn't matter. I watched Memento. I came out of the movie back in the day. I was like, wow.
Well,
I went to watch Inception. I went to watch Dark Knight. I came out. I was like, wow. When I come out of a movie, like when I go watch movies with my kids, I come out. I was like, okay, whatever. It's a fucking stupid fucking kid
yeah.
movie.
It's like
But
the
when you
new Super Mario Brothers, I guess. I've not seen it, but everybody's raving about it. And yes, if you are someone who have
raving,
childhood nostalgia about it, because they've compared that to what Disney is doing, and they think that it is amazingly done compared to how Disney has kind of lost track of how they should be creating entertainment for children. It doesn't have any of the social justice thing going on, none of that
why?
political underlying
Why?
anything.
Why do
It
you need
shouldn't.
to put any of that?
Correct, but it exists in all the Disney stuff,
You
the
know,
Little
you can
Mermaids and
do
all.
that. Make
Yeah,
a fucking Brokeback Mountain part two.
yeah. I think Brave, if you think about it, Brokeback Mountain actually did not have anything. If you think about it, Brokeback Mountain would not even set up to the standard. Like that is actually, if you think about it, it had no messaging. If you think about it, it's just about two guys, who are making it do in the mountains, right?
No, if
So
it needs to be social justice, make a social justice film. Nobody's gonna watch it. Why are you putting social justice bullshit in a film? Like,
yeah, I think it's about the
eh,
bottom line, bro. I think the whole idea is that
but the
they
bottom
want
line's
to
nobody's
appeal.
watching these movies. The only reason these
Well, now
movies
I
are
think they need
working,
to turn around that ship, change the
no,
way.
but no, nobody's watching these movies. The only reason these movies are being made is because everybody's paying $20 a month to streaming services, and those streaming services have so much fucking money end of the year that they can do whatever the fuck they want. It's like you're giving an independent filmmaker with a fucking ideological thing in their brain and telling them, hey, listen, we'll give you every month, we'll give you $20. And there are millions of people who will give you $20. What you do with that $20, we don't care. As long as we have content when we sit down, we need to have something on TV. That's always there. Like, it can
It's
be around
interesting what you're saying. Very interesting what you're saying. Actually, I didn't
because it's
think
all
about it that
capitalism.
way.
Like, if you think capitalism, like, people don't, capitalism works. Capitalism is the reason we have iPhones. Capitalism is the reason we have technology. Capitalism is the reason what we do. Is it all great? No, I don't agree. There's, you know,
But it's the
bad
best system out
practice,
there. Yeah. The
right?
problem is
So,
crony capitalism. Yeah.
so these people use capitalism, take our money, and then use the capitalism to push their fucking bullshit, which is okay if they want to push it. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, but I
I
think
honestly,
because it's a capitalist society, a capitalist way of doing business, the change will be very fast. Because Disney's already lost like 20 million subscribers or something. Why? Because they looked at the content. They're like, okay, you know what? We don't want to give our money anymore to this thing because it's
dude,
not
I was
satisfying.
on Apple TV Plus. I saw these thumbnails and I'm like, why do I care about any of this? I don't even care.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna cancel that subscription right now. I
Oh
just did
shit,
it
bro.
because
There's nothing there. There's nothing there. The
right,
only
like
good thing that is right now, if you want to watch on Netflix, apart from Beef, and there's a couple of documentaries here and there. I don't think, but majority is shit. But one great thing that came out of it that I thought was very good was this show Dark from it's a
no,
German science fiction show, bro.
I heard.
Once you cross the second episode or the first, I think even the first
Yeah,
episode
but
itself,
here's the thing.
it's something new, bro. It's very
Can I
new,
say
and you'll
can
love
I
it if
say
you watch it.
something?
Yeah.
Can I say something? As I think a lot of people, like once you are at a certain age, okay, and you are doing work or you have a limited time in a day,
Yeah, then
I
you
do
can't
not.
watch it.
I
Then you can
can
only
I
watch stuff that is 9 out of 10 minimum or 10 out of 10. That's it. You can't watch anything
I
even
can't
at
watch
8.
it.
Yeah.
And even if
Yeah.
it's 10 out of 10, and if it's like a 12 episode seasons,
Only,
I'll be like,
yeah, then also. Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what?
So,
I don't. I
same
have
thing
my
happened
own
with me.
story going on.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
give me a feature film.
Same thing happened with me. I watched Ricky Gervais, right? After he shat upon, Tim Cook and every other network,
Oh yeah,
he
that was
did that
nice.
show Afterlife on Netflix. Dude, it's about this guy, his wife dies.
No, I
And
heard.
yeah, oh man, and he decides to be a complete asshole to everybody around him. In that show, all he does, he just shits on everybody. Like he just hates the mailman, he hates his friends, he hates his family, he hates everybody. He hates work, and it just again, just amazing kind of comedy. It's a kind of comedy that nobody's explored, and he's decided to go into that. And it's a hard one to do, to take a subject of that kind and then try to make something fun out of it. Oh man, that's
See,
brilliant.
see, I missed out on all of that because I just don't. I can't watch any of it. Like me going
You
on
don't need
Netflix,
to. You don't need to. What you can
but,
do is
but
what you
it's
can do
it.
is just
There's so much
yeah.
noise out there, right?
You don't need to, but what you can do is if you are someone who is happy, like for example, Afterlife might come out with 4 more seasons, for example. But what you need to take from that show is within the first season. You watch the first season, and yes, you might know that it might continue, but it's the same thing again. There is no show, even Game of Thrones. Okay, you take the greatest show, even Breaking Bad. If you think about it, what you need to take away from the entire Breaking Bad experience is the first season. You watch the first season, it's the same thing, but just it's like John Wick. If you watch
I
John
get
Wick
it, but I
four,
like it.
yeah, yeah, I know you like it. It's an amazing show. But what I'm saying is, if you watch John Wick
No,
one,
what I'm
two,
saying.
three, and
Yeah,
four are just new versions of that same story. It's the same thing at play. It's the same show. So it's like a circus
I
with just new
I
acts
get
and
that. What I think what I'm alluding to is that some things I like, so
oh yeah, yeah. So you need to
I
make a
can
choice.
dedicate my time. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't be like, oh shit, I'm watching John Wick 4, so I have to watch John Wick 3. But
yeah, yeah,
I liked what, and
yeah. If you
funny
like it,
enough,
then yeah, you
so
prioritize it.
also funny enough, I never saw John Wick in the cinema.
I've never seen it either, so I didn't see the first, second, and the third.
So
Fourth one, I think I'll
it
go and
was
watch it.
the people who watched it made it famous. It had a word of mouth kind of
Yeah.
grassroots following.
I think he and Tom Cruise are the only people who've had a resurgence, basically a restart. A second chance in Hollywood is very hard. It's very hard to make a comeback. Like once you had a one big hit on your hands,
Yeah,
trying to
but
create a second
if you
one
look
again is
at
very hard.
but if you look at the characters, right? They're playing their old characters. They're all campy, right?
Mm.
Like think about it's like there are memes about Keanu Reeves, right? And oh, like his acting is like
I think
whoa,
who else will have a resurgence after
Nicholas
is
Cage.
Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel, bro. I want him to
Really?
win. Everybody hates him because they say he's a
Why?
shit actor. He's not a great actor, and he's been doing like these Fast and Furious movies the last 10 years or whatever. So they're on the
I hate
ninth and
Fast and
tenth movie now,
Furious.
right? So what I think he needs a resurgence from is like I wish that he would put down Fast and Furious, be done with it, which eventually he
They
will,
shouldn't
or
make
maybe
anymore.
yeah, they'll stop making it, and then he will go away, and after maybe two or three bad movies,
You know what's
he will
the
come out with an amazing movie that will launch his career again, like launch a whole new franchise.
you know what's the meme? Fast and the Furious. Fuck. That's it. Stop it. We
Yeah,
don't.
family. It's all about family. Family
No,
one
no.
from first to
Fast and the Furious. No, we don't want to
yeah,
watch more than the tenth one.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah.
saw the trailer. I saw
I've
the
not seen the
trailer.
trailer. I've not seen the
Dude,
trailer.
watch, like, I would say recommend watching the trailer because that would be, at least you're wasting 3 minutes of your life.
Rather than 3 hours or 2.5 hours. Of,
Yeah, but there are people who love it. So I'm not gonna
people
say,
love
hey,
it. People love cars.
don't make.
I think people who love cars
Yeah, but
and
it's
want to
not about
justify.
cars anymore.
Yeah, 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 it's about stunts. What is it about?
I
Family,
don't
is
know.
it?
I don't know.
That's what the trailer is. But I think the first one was great. The first, until Paul Walker was there, I wouldn't say it was there until it was good until Paul Walker was there. I would say that the first one or two movies
Yeah,
where
but
when
the
Paul Walker was
first
in was
one was subculture of JDM
yeah.
cars. There was
Oh, it was brilliant. Actually, it was very well
some
done.
reality is attached to it.
It was completely set in reality. It was completely set in reality. And the idea that I mean, if you look at from a plot perspective, from a storyline perspective, it's a great storyline for an action movie. Because it's
Yeah.
about a guy who basically goes into a family of Latinos and he has to make friends. He starts dating the guy's sister, and
Mm.
then while he's within that subculture, he's trying to figure out, okay, as a copper, that who are the bad guys. Oh, very well done. And I think Vin Diesel really played that Latino person
Is
who
he Latino?
he's not. I think he's Italian. I thought he was Italian. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But he plays
Hilarious.
Latino in it. And the whole Latino culture and everything, the music and the whole family thing that they talk about and everything. So in a stereotypical way, they try to create a whole stereotype about that they're all about cars and everything, but they also love family and family is paramount. They're criminals, but they're family people. That's
Yeah,
the whole thing in that.
but yeah, Latinos are like that.
Yeah, but they're not all criminals though. Are they?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the
true.
thing, right? The problem is the way Hollywood does it is that they would say, oh, they're all gangsters and they're all mafia people, but they're good mafia people. That's what they do with the Italian gangsters. Like, I mean, there are people who've been typecast. I mean, if you look at that guy on Patrick David, there's an interview of this guy who was in Godfather Part 3. The guy who basically locks up all the heads of the family into the meeting conference room, and then they put a handcuff around the doors, and then a helicopter comes and fucking tries to shoot everybody down. You remember that sequence? Basically Joe Magneta, I think that's the name of the actor, the one who gets his ear bit off by Andy Garcia
I don't
in Part
remember.
Three, Godfather Part Three.
I don't remember
Anyway,
part three.
there's an interview of with Patrick Bet David where this guy has done a couple of good movies after Godfather 3,
Yeah.
but it launched Andy Garcia and that guy who plays the villain, the bad guy in the first half. Uh, you remember Andy Garcia? He's the guy who dresses up a cop and he sits on a horse, and during the carnival, he goes and shoots the guy. The guy he shoots, that guy, he gets a whole career after that. He does some good gangster movies after that, but the problem, he gets typecast as a gangster. And every other movie that he does, he's a gangster in it. And even in Friends, he makes a guest appearance in Friends. I think he's an uncle or something, one of the characters' uncle or David Schwimmer's uncle, whatever. I can't remember, but he plays a gangster in that as well. So
David
the thing is that
Schwimmer
you get typecast.
was Italian.
Sorry?
David Schwimmer was Italian in Friends.
Can't remember. I think it's Joey or someone. One of the he does make an appearance in
Probably
the
Joey.
Friends. I could be, or I'm reading it wrong. He does make an appearance in some kind of sitcom. That's for sure. And in that sitcom also he plays a in a funny way in the Italian gangster.
All
So
right.
I think it's pretty common, to get typecast. So
Hey,
actually, talking about coming out of this
typecast.
whole John Wick and the movie situation. Um, I have to get out of here, but I thought maybe we'll talk a little bit about. Um, I was listening to an interview. Actually, you know what? I've got a couple of topics I want to talk about, but because we went on the whole uh, the path down,
You gotta
the
watch
deep,
John Wick.
the deep hole,
They need they, they,
the
they
rabbit
need
hole
to
of
pay
John
me
Wick,
money.
the rabbit hole of John Wick. So there are a couple of topics I want to talk about, but I think I'll reserve it for the next episode. But one thing that we I think can make time for is the wife, bro. She actually highlighted to me that there are there are these group of people who go onto all these apps. Do you guys have Chili's or Nando's or something over there? You know, all these
Okay.
restaurants that have their apps on the internet. You download them, and when you sign up to them, right, they give you free lunch or free dinner on your birthday. And
Hmm.
she was telling me there is a group of people who just do that. They sign up to as many free birthday lunches as possible. And then every year they go and they try to collect all these birthday lunches for their birthday. So
Oh
they
wow.
end up getting 20 to 30 lunches from different, like, you can pick McDonald's, KFC, Nando's. You
Wow.
just go and sign up for each one and you
There's
get a
no
free
free
birthday
lunches
lunch.
gone out of the fucking door.
And there's an immediate amount of surge at the moment for all these free lunches in society.
Yeah,
The
it's like,
website Oz Bargain.
oh
So if
boy.
you're a thrifter, if you're someone who wants to save money, you go and sign up to Oz Bargain. And Oz
Uh,
Bargain is a public
Fucking some
forum
brown guy made it.
that I don't know who made it. I think it's Aussies. But it's been there. It's like it's one of the greatest legendary websites in Australian culture. You go to Oz Bargain and it basically gives you a deal about everything.
Hmm.
It's amazing. You want to find a cheap electric company, you can go there. You're looking for a cheap deal on something, you can go there. You're looking for offers from the web, like today this is 50% off, and Black Friday deals or Christmas deals or boxing, everything is there, right? So even on that, it even tells you how you can basically sign up for different credit cards to get the maximum flyer points. And on that, they have deals of this kind as well. Where there's a support, there's a it's like a Reddit of deals, of discounts, of trying to
Hmm.
save money. So there is a group of people that keep track of all these apps that give you free
Wow.
lunches on your birthday, and the people who sign up for it, like they're oh man, like I think people. I'm not sure. I think people are there is some kind of mental addiction of some kind. I have friends. I have people who I don't know. I know someone through someone on LinkedIn. Someone has added me because they know a mutual friend or whatever, and they used to go to the same school that I go to. That guy reached out to me and said to me that I've heard that you can get me a 50% off voucher on Samsung products. Are you okay to do that for me? I'm like, what the fuck? Who are you? Like, I don't even know you. You know, like there are people. Like someone reached out to my wife yesterday saying that they want to take their kids to Super Mario Brothers movie, and because your husband happens to, have that offer in his mobile that allows him to avail those tickets for a little bit cheap, can you like ask him to, do tickets for us. And I've never heard from her husband or her or the family. They never invited us over. And I've not heard from them for 3, 4 years now. And out of the blue, because they need to go take their kids to Super Mario movie, they want to reach out to us because we get a discount on certain movies. So I think that either tough times are ahead, people are
Hmm?
very stingy, or I think that people just love to, they just feel it's a sin. They'll go to hellfire. They'll end up in, the worst, what do you call that? The worst levels of hell or something if they somehow paid full price for a ticket. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, you guys don't go to cinemas all the time. You're only going maybe once a year. Just pay full price and get done with it, or just look for a
So
discount watch or something.
I think over here in Canada we have Tuesdays. It's like cheaper.
They don't have it anymore here, bro. Tight ass Tuesdays,
Uh,
they don't have it here. They used to
so
call
over
it tight
here,
ass Tuesdays.
that, that,
Tight ass
so yeah,
Tuesdays, they don't have it
yeah.
anymore. Yeah,
So I watched John Wick on a tight ass Tuesday, just to let you know. I
yeah,
didn't care. I wanted to actually go on an IMAX, but the person I was going with was like, "Yeah, who gives a fuck? Why are you paying all that money?" And I'm like,
yeah.
"Okay, well, sure." I'm like, I don't go to cinemas that often for anything. So to me, it's like, I don't care if even if it's $30, I don't care. I'll just pay it,
Mm, mm, mm.
whatever.
Yeah, I think, um, yeah, but I don't know, man. Why people are like, there was another clip I watched on YouTube about this lady who did her entire shopping. She filled her entire shopping trolley just through vouchers. In England, apparently, my wife was telling me that in England, vouchers are huge.
Well, over
They're
here too.
huge.
So
Yeah, people love
don't
vouchers.
over here. Over here, people don't go on Wednesdays to buy stuff. Uh,
Okay.
because most people, especially in like normal hours between like 10 to like 5, people don't go shopping on
Why?
Wednesdays because everybody with a voucher is allowed to shop on Wednesday.
Oh
So
shit! And
they
what does it do? So it's just packed, is it?
so it's like the lineup becomes long because
Oh.
they don't have enough people on the counter. So they might have
Yeah,
20
because they want
counters.
you to put your shit into your trolley, scan it yourself, pay it for yourself, and then bag it yourself,
No,
and then
apart
take
from
it to
yeah,
the car
so
yourself.
not just that. So when they go for this, they have to stand in line for the amount of cashiers that you have. So you don't have
Oh, so,
that
so
many.
vouchers are not automated. You have to scan it and everything.
I think so. So generally, like this is what I see in like big supermarkets here.
Mm.
It's like, oh, on weekends, all the cashiers are there in our store. That's the hat. Like if you come to our store, there will be
Mm.
cashiers in all this, all the cashier lanes. So when on a normal day, you will see maybe
No.
two. So on a
Interesting.
Wednesday, people avoid going because all these voucher aunties and uncles, usually retirees, and
Pensioners and all that.
because the problem is the inflation is going so high,
Yeah.
they have no other choice to increase their buying power by utilizing just that's what they do. Oh, this month or this week, this is what's I'll go and buy. So I
Do
have
they
to
have
go
that
there.
for fuel as well? For gas? You guys call it gas over there, right? Here we call
So
it fuel.
gas, Canadian Tire, no Canadian, Costco,
Oh man,
something.
even here, Costco gas is cheap, bro. But you need to
Yeah,
be a member.
I know I'm a member, but I never go and put Costco gas because the lineup is so much. I'm like, might
The
as well
line is
buy a
huge.
fucking electric car. Like if you want to stand in line to put gas,
But I think with
just
the electric car, I feel like it's like timing the market. Right now is a good time to buy electric car, but as electric prices go up, the bills go up, then you need to time the top so you can sell your car where every sucker wants the car, and then you sell the car right then and there,
well,
and then
that's
you move
you're
to
talking like
back
a
to petrol.
you're talking like a you're talking like a financial
No,
atheist. I
I'm talking
like
like a
it.
gambler, bro. Gambler. That's what gambling. That's what you call gambling. That's not investing. That's gambling.
I will buy an electric.
Buy at the bottom and sell at the top. Like
Yeah, I mean,
Kiyosaki.
but the point is like I do understand. Like, first of all, I'm not shitting on any of these people. First of all, the economic situation is bad.
Yeah,
People don't have jobs. They might have jobs, but the amount of money that they have to spend or the amount of money they can make is not enough for them to survive. Everybody's living on paycheck to paycheck. It's a known fact, and people are using their savings. So the, they're just trying to ride it out because all the fucking politicians and all the
yeah,
big players of you know.
yeah, yeah. That's it, bro. So, well, on that, we'll wrap this up. Go take the missus out. Go, got to go back to other things in life, And yeah,
Okay.
I think what I'll do is I'll watch John Wick next Wednesday night. I've got John
Oh
Wick,
my god.
and then Thursday
Oh my
morning
god.
and then Thursday I got a thing with you. So I think we'll do a complete spoiler cast of John Wick 1 to John Wick 4, the whole thing.
Oh my god. Okay, I have to watch John Wick 1 and 2 again.
Oh no,
Actually,
man,
I
just
watched
watch the
2.
thing. Come on, man. There's not much to watch. I mean, it's just yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, just
All right, man.
watch it a little bit. Yeah, watch a summary video on YouTube. They got all these summary videos. What happens in John?
Oh,
There's all recap. This guy does recaps of all these
wow.
movies. We'll talk about that and a couple of other things I've got here. Hey, did you watch that photograph that I posted about Putin? He got that
No.
necklace chain.
No.
So he went to China and Russia had a meeting. They had a like a parade and everything for him. You know,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh,
Okay.
yeah. And then they gave him a necklace, a gold necklace. So then I posted at the bottom like the world's biggest gangster.
Yeah.
the, the
Did
biggest
you
G
watch
gets the
the
biggest.
did you watch the
That
slap
if
fest that I will watch?
that one we'll talk about it next time. Yeah. And I wonder how do you decide who's the winner in that one. We'll talk about it next time.
I don't know. I just saw the part where
Is it
this
actually a real competition? That's
I
the other
don't
thing I want to talk
listen.
about. Yeah. Yeah.
The only winner in that slap fest is the person watching it.
And you saw the one of security that's there, the one of security,
No, dude, my
Yeah,
eyes were focused on something else.
exactly. Yeah,
That's
instead
it.
of I think they call it butt slap or something, whatever it's booty slap or something. All right, we'll
I
go.
mean,
Gotta go.
as long as it's not a man, I'm happy.
Or a trans woman.
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Alrighty,
see you, man. Bye.
bye.
Bye.